Hey guys, Tyro here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Commander mod version 2.0 changes. Starting out with US Forces. Rear Echelon Rifle Grenade now takes up one weapon slot. Fixed a bug where the weapon was not mutually exclusive with Minesweepers. Damage modifier against heavy cover from 0.5 to 0.75. So yeah. Improved performance against heavy cover we saw was a little bit lacking in that department previously, especially with the scatter of the grenades. And otherwise, basically just bug fixes here. So I personally still haven't had a chance to try these in a game. I have played some matches on this mod, but personally I haven't got a chance to play US Forces with this commander, so still looking forward to testing those out myself. So now we're going to test the revised rear echelon troops against a squad behind heavy cover, same position as last time. Same ranges, same scatter and whatnot. About quarter health with that first rifle grenade. Seemed like it was more on this end. Same once again, seems to be scattering on this side a little bit more. Once again, seems to be scattering a little bit short. Oh, that's a direct hit. So that was a pretty big shot there. Definitely quite noticeable. So yeah, I would say that's a noticeable improvement, but it's not like super overwhelming. Still comes down to the scatter of the grenades as well. As you saw, if they keep scattering like forwards or to one side, it doesn't really do that much damage. So now we're going to repeat the previous test, but I'm going to use attack ground now instead of just normal attack moving or just normal attacking on the squad. So we'll see if that makes a difference to the scatter. Directly in the middle. Squad's a little bit further back this time though. Seemed to land pretty well there. Still seem to be better than the last barrage so far. Does seem to be like scattering less. So there's still some scatter in that one, but maybe attack ground is more accurate. Seemed to be, at least in that test. Seemed to be less scatter horizontally. Vertically there was still a bit, but horizontally there seemed to be a little bit less using attack ground. So maybe that's a good idea with these, to use attack ground a little bit more. Dozer Blade, now renamed Urban Assault Kit, provides riflemen with incendiary grenades similar to Molotovs. So I wonder if that's in terms of wind-up time or throw time or what. Shares a cooldown with frags with 30 munitions. It doesn't say this here, but this does require grenade tech to unlock. So you're going to have to tech grenades if you want to get access to the incendiary grenades. Right, so now we're going to take a look at the incendiary device. Remember, you have to have grenade tech unlocked to get access to this. Test it against this squad in a building, see the throw time, see that's good. So you can see the throw range. So regular grenade throw range is quite a lot further. So that's a much faster wind up than Molotov by like infinity, and it instantly explodes. So overall in performance, this is much more similar to an incendiary grenade than a Molotov because of that very short wind-up time. And may even make it better than an incendiary grenade, since there's no fuse. So yeah, definitely a strong ability, this one. As you saw, because of the spread of the units inside the building. It's not actually that effective here. It's probably only burning 1 or 2 models at a time. Didn't get much damage done, but yeah, that is the revised incendiary device. Very impressive. Even 4 A3 Shermans can now fire a single white phosphorus shell with a target position for 20 munitions. So I wonder if that's got the same range as the regular smoke. If so, that's probably like very, very powerful. Means you don't have to worry about getting a piece of indirect fire. That could actually be like really, really strong. Still provides the dose blade. So there's a lot more stuff jammed into this one slot now. See how it gets on. This incendiary grenades could be an issue, I suppose, like being locked behind grenade tech, it's not too bad. Here's testing, but yeah, this is definitely a lot more powerful combination now on this slot. So here we are testing out the white phosphorus shell on the Shermans now. So you can see the range on this. Basically same 40 range, same as a usual tank shell. It's actually shot from the main gun. I thought it was going to be from the smoke launchers, but actually shot from the main gun. So there you can see the range of it compared to the smoke launcher all the way out there. So that allays some of my fears about it. I thought it was going to be, you know, like a long range smoke launch from the smoke launcher, but that is not the case. It's from a smoke shell. Shoot at this squad here. So now they are actually hidden. Phosphorus, they're hiding in there, cooking away. So without dodging, it looks like it does exactly half of their health. So that is the white phosphorus shell, 20 munitions. Don't need the dozer upgrade or anything, you can just get it straight away. Cover to cover, replaced off-map smoke with cover to cover. Drops single smoke shell at the target location. Infantry will sprint for 20 seconds after the ability is cast. So I did play against this once, and I felt like the sprint was a little bit too long at 20 seconds. Maybe should be less, maybe around 10 seconds instead, because with 20 you can sprint a long way. Instead of just like, you know, dashing into combat or getting like a short flank, you can do like extended long flanks. Felt that was a little bit too powerful. But overall that's a, you know, deviation from heavy cavalry, so that's nice. So now we have the revised ability cover to cover. So this is 70 munitions gone up in cost compared to, I think it was 40 before for just the regular smoke grenade. And you also off map, you can do it. You don't have to have sight for it either. And so instantly you get the sprint across the entire map as well. It's not like a local sprint, across the entire map for 20 seconds, as well as a smoke drop. So yeah, that is the new ability cover to cover. Very strong, and as you can see here how long the sprint lasts. It really lasts a really long time, allows you for some mass repositioning at the moment. And then finally the Calliope reload from 1.25 to 0.125 matches the cooldown. So previously with the Calliope, as you saw, it would like shoot a barrage maybe of 8 rockets or so, maybe even less, and then there'd be a gap for a little bit of time, I suppose 1.25 seconds, and then some more rockets would come in. So now it's just going to be like a constant stream of rockets. Should make it a lot more lethal if your opponent stays in the area. Less time to react. And the AoE is going from 4 to 5, so that's a pretty big AoE improvement. It's on the far AoE. So combining that with the buffs in the version 1.0, the Calliope now is very strong, I feel. I did play against it and I felt like it was a good unit. At the very least. And considering how hard it is to kill, you know, it could be that's always the issue with the Calliope, but yeah, Calliope changes made it a lot better in my opinion. So here's the version 2.0 Calliope, once again close to max range, basically the same test as last time.
Crew, get on it.
see it's just like a constant stream of rockets. There's no pause. And their scatter is obviously quite large in this area, but did some pretty good damage there.
Button her up. Big push coming.
Seems to be, yeah, at least the rockets coming in at that short interval does make a big difference.
Crew ready.
So here is the Calliope, this time at close to minimum range, basically same as last time.
Stop us here.
This time we're going to have, I forgot to bring it up for the previous test, but this time we're going to have a squad scouting.
Looks like we're getting into the
Reduce the
excitement.
scatter a little bit. Here we go.
Jump to it.
The move has us going behind.
So yeah, it looks like it's going to be like guaranteed wipe on like any 4-man squads that's close to the center of the barrage. Seems like it's pretty good, especially if they stay in it. But even then, like during the first half of the barrage, just when the pack went down, so definitely seems to be more lethal. Like now, it seems to be like a pretty formidable unit, I would say. Yeah, so overall, pretty big changes and pretty big buffs to the Calliope there. Onto the British, we have the M3 half-track replaced by the M5 half-track. Still requires AEC or Bofors upgrade, but is also available if the company command post is purchased. Additional changes intended. So a lot of people weren't happy about the M3 half-track being in here, so now it's getting the M5 instead. So you can upgrade that with the quad upgrade, the Kraut mower. And that could actually be a pretty powerful combo, the AEC and the Kraut mower. And, you know, British can usually get their light vehicles out quite quickly with their fast ticking speeds, so this could be very strong. Crew repair replaces smoke raid operation. So yeah, as I mentioned in the last patch notes, because you have access to smoke from things like the mortar now, don't really need smoke in this commander, so now it's getting crew repairs, which I suppose is on theme with the Lend-Lease doctrine, because, you know, US forces get crew repairs. This is obviously not when your crew jumps out, this is just the same one that the British usually get, I believe. But still, you know, staying on theme. Crew repair going from US forces to the Brits. M10. Fix an issue where British M10s could not or would not benefit from hammer tracking. So yeah, when you upgrade to hammer, you get tracking, which is when you shoot at a tank, it will stay revealed through the fog of war for 8 seconds, I think it is. So it can help you get some follow-up shots. So now that's fixed, which is really nice. And I believe maybe it hasn't been fixed yet, actually. There's also a little bit of a bug on this prioritized vehicles. Isn't working properly. I think there's a fix intended. I'm not sure if that's gone through yet or not, though. OKW infrared STG package. Assault package replaced by infrared STG package for Obersoldaten. So yeah, I did play some games with this with the OKW commander, and I didn't feel like I really needed the STG package. At that point in the game, I had 3 squads of G43 Fusiliers, and I felt like the weapon profiles kind of match up. They're kind of too similar in range and application. The STG Obers, obviously they're more powerful, but felt like there was a little bit too much overlap, and at that point I just wanted an LMG squad, so I'm not sure about this ability. I don't think it's really that desirable, but then again, I haven't tried yet going for Shreks on the Panzer Fusiliers and STGs as your anti-infantry yet, so that does open up a different avenue of infantry play. Panzer Fusiliers cost from 250 to 280, reinforced costs unchanged. G43 now takes up 1 weapon slot, flare costs from 45 to 35. So yeah, I believe it used to take up 0 weapon slots, so there was the possibility of them picking up some slot weapons, 2 of them perhaps, and becoming absolute Terminators. Now they'll just be able to become regular Terminators with an extra weapon, because they do have pretty good veterancy bonuses which will apply to picked up weapons pretty effectively. And yeah, flare cost is going down. It's a bit of an underutilized ability, and in this commander is especially, you don't really need to use it that much because you have the recon playing with the smoke. But you know, it's a decent buff. And you know, flares do linger around for longer than the recon plane, which is kind of in and out. So they do have different use cases. But yeah, that is a decent nerf to them at start of the game. And going for a pure Fusilier strat can be tough. So we'll see how it gets on. If you're going for this, you're kind of sacrificing a little bit of early game strength. The Fusilier is a little bit worse than Fox Trinity is early, and then for the potential of the late game strength with the other weapon upgrades, the G43s or the anti-tank package on an already vetted up Fusilier squad. So that's a sacrifice you have to decide when using Panzer Fusiliers. And then the Tiger now uses the OKW Combat Blitz ability, which I'm not sure what its performance is like these days. Previously it was better than the Austria one, so that should be a buff, I think. Moving on to Austria, we have Assault Grenadiers. Veteran squad leader increases capture and decapture rate by 20%. Adds 5% received accuracy to the squad. So as we saw in the tests, getting the 6-man upgrade really didn't improve them quite enough, especially, I think it is 60 munitions, so it's quite expensive, and I didn't feel like it was performing that well. So now you can use them more as a capping squad, which does improve the utility in the late game. Maybe you can use them on the flanks, which is generally where you want to be using them in the first place. Either like charging through the middle with the sprint, or just hiding around in corners on the flanks. So that should, improve the utility on the flanks. And then 5% improved received accuracy as well, making them a little bit more durable against small arms. So overall, I do quite like these changes to the Assault Grenadiers package. Gives them some more utility and a little bit more combat strength. Tiger Ace now starts at Vet 1. So it's going to be Ace. Starting at Vet 1, there was a very common complaint that the Tiger Ace is not Ace. So now it is an Ace, starts at Vet 1. So that means we'll have access to Blitz straight away, which is very, very good. So hopefully this doesn't make the Tiger Ace too strong starting with that. Maybe its cost might even need to go up a little bit more. Soviets, forward rally point. Fixed an issue where the medical crate had an infinite range and no indicator radius. Okay. Medical crates will no longer inspire friendly units. So yeah, I think that was the buff they were previously giving, similar to the Luftwaffe supply medical crates. Cost from 20 to 15. So they're getting also a cost improvement. Okay. I think they were a little bit overpowered before as well, so that's good change. Airborne Guards. DP-28 now provides fire superiority. Same ability as Cavalry Rifleman covering fire. So now we're testing out the new ability Fire Superiority on the LMG upgraded guards only. Remember, we've got the EPSH ones over here. They don't have access to that. It's only on the LMG ones. So there you can see the reduced movement speed. Pretty decent debuff there on the movement speed. And the damage they're outputting in return does seem to be reduced as well. But it looks like they're also taking reduced damage. Usually, as we saw in the previous test, guards would shred that squad very rapidly. Can now be upgraded with PPSH 41s for free. Grants access to smoke grenade and equips the squad full with the shock trooper PPSH 41s. So now we're going to test the PPSH guards. Since not a lot of you will be familiar with their performance, you know, the assault guards from the half-track, pretty rare to see. So I'm going to charge them in here against LMG Grenadier. No URA in this case, no smoke either, just see how they go on a raw charge, and should have the same PPSHs as shock troops. So pretty comprehensive victory there, even without using the URA on the Grenadiers. So definitely worth their costs, and if you make use of URA and smoke, they should win that even more handily. So good signs for the anti-infantry performance of the Airborne Guards there. So now I'm going to try URA and the Airborne Guards against some Panzer Grenadiers, see how they go with that change. So that was a pretty convincing win there for the Airborne Guards. That's bad news for Panzer Grenadiers though, you know, that's basically what they're designed to stop happening. Squads charging and being able to win fights, and the Airborne Guards there dominated them. Very similar cost as well. And remember, this doesn't cost you anything to get the PPSH upgrade. You can get that for free. Similar for the Panzer Grenadiers, they also don't need upgrades. So yeah, that is bad news for Panzer Grenadiers there. Airborne Guards are much stronger. Can now upgrade in neutral or enemy territory. So that's, you know, adding to their paratrooper theme. Now, if you can't upgrade when dropping them behind enemy territory, that's a little bit poor. Veterancy 1 ability replaced with IL2 Suppression strafe. So they used to have the penal ability to the last man, now they got a Suppression strafe. Calls in an airstrike at the target position within 40 meters of the airborne squad for 60 munitions. So it's slightly further than they could see. They can call an airstrike. Low damage, but will pin most targets. Share a global cooldown. Okay, so I guess if one Airborne Guard calls this in, you can't do it on a different one. Well, it's definitely a very spicy v2.1 ability. Looking forward to testing it out. Playing against it, I found it quite hard to dodge in time actually. So now we're going to test the new v2.1 ability for this, the IL2 Strafe Strafing Gun. Actually currently available at v2.0, a little bit of a mistake there. So you can see the targeting range of it. Slightly further than you can see. Just don't want to get any oh man. So that comes in super quick and does a huge amount of damage, doesn't pin either. Wow. Okay, so the cast range on that does seem to be longer than their sight range, but actually not. They seem to have to close into fighting range to actually get it off. And then, my god, that obliterated that squad and came in at crazy speeds. That is a insane ability. Added RGD-33 grenade. Smoke grenade locked behind PPSH 41. So if you get the PPSHs, you get a smoke grenade, helping them with close quarters combat. Otherwise, you just get the frag grenade. Well, you get this as well with the close quarters, but it should make them very, very strong. Very similar to paratroopers and obers having a grenade to help defend themselves. So yeah, some changes to the Airborne Guards. Got a cool v2.1 ability, can get PPSHs for free now, so they're a bit more versatile. And get a fire superiority ability. So variancy changes. v2.1, IL2 Suppression strafe. v2, 29% received accuracy, self-healing while combat. I think that is new. Same as most other elite squads get. and then 25% weapon cooldown, and v3 30% weapon accuracy, 20% ability recharge. So that'll affect like grenades as well as the strafe, I imagine. So I'm not sure what the changes are exactly, whether these are different in terms of numbers to regular. So we'll take a look at the veterancy guide on COH2.org. I'm not sure if this is 100% up to date. We've got the both types of guards here. So the veterancy is vastly different to the regular guards, according to this. So we'll take a look at the guards rifle assault. So those two numbers are the same, and it looks like they only get 30% accuracy instead of 40%. So the Vet 3 performance actually in combat will be a little bit worse than the assault guards, and they get ability recharge instead of grenade range. So they are a little bit different when they have the PPSH upgrade compared to the assault guards. And finally we have the IL-2 rocket strafe, damage against vehicles from 120 to 140, so a slight buff, very slight though. As we saw, it was only doing about quarter health to medium tanks, so now it might do like a third. Not a very big buff there. AoE damage profile against buildings reduced to super close air support. Strafe level damage against non-vehicle targets from 120 to 20. So it's going to be nowhere near as lethal against infantry compared to what it used to be. In fact, it will actually be just medium in strength. Might do like a quarter of their health or something. Oh yeah, probably will. If one rocket hits them, maybe if two hits them, it'll do half their health. So it's a pretty big nerf to the anti-infantry, not much of a buff to the anti-tank. So with this ability, I still think it's going to be a little underpowered with these changes, honestly. So now we're going to test the revised performance of the anti-tank run against a medium tank here. So yeah, you can see it is doing a little bit more damage, close to a third than a quarter, but still not very impressive for a direct hit on this ability. The planes do come in pretty quickly though, so that is to its credit, but otherwise still a little bit lackluster in anti-tank. And considering, you know, it is kind of hard to target these on moving vehicles, yeah, a little bit underwhelming still, I'd say. So now we're going to test the revised rocket strength against buildings and infantry. Should be doing a lot less damage to both now. Just want them to do the recon. So still completely flat in that wooden building. Still actually did quite a lot of damage to the infantry as well, like more than I was expecting at least. So yeah, still seems to be better against infantry than it is against tanks, honestly. So a change that wasn't actually mentioned in the notes, the SVT drop now grants 4 SVTs instead of 3 to conscripts. So here you can see SVTs are the ones with the magazines sticking out the bottom. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 SVTs now from this weapon crate. So it does make it a lot more appealing at 45 munitions cost. So those are the changes to the version 2.0 mod. Hope you guys enjoyed that look at the notes and the new abilities, revised abilities rather. And I hope you guys get out there and test the mod, because I had a lot of fun playing this the other night with my friends. So I hope you do the same. A special thank you goes out to my Patreon backers and donators that help make videos like this possible.